Good evening. Can you hear me okay? Yeah. Thank you all for coming tonight. My name is Brett Provenzano, and I am the superintendent of Fairport Central School District. I am excited that we are here today. It's been an incredible journey. And I just want to acknowledge some of the people that have really made this an incredible process. We have our partners from the University of Rochester here, Dr. Steve Uvey and Lynn Erdl from the University of Rochester. We have our facilitators here from the District Advisory Council, Deb Miles, Nate Ruder, Don Young, and Bob Clark. And where we are, the other ones here, we have Deanna Lott and Janet Tate. No stage right here. Without their organization and leadership, this would have could have gone in many different directions, and I'll get to that in a little bit, but I appreciate their leadership in the study groups. Who was actually on a study group? Can you just stand up if you were on a study group, one of the 3 study groups? Can you just please stand up? And I would like to acknowledge their participation. Those people who were in the study groups. Please give a round of applause. We had 107 community members participate in our District Advisory Council to help us uncover our dreams and hopes for our schools and the future of our schools, and that just speaks volumes. Before we go forward, though, I would like to take a moment and have Board of Education President Peter Forsgren please come to the podium to say some welcome words. Peter Forsgren, Board of Education President.
I'd like to have the other board members, if they would stand up. It's not just one of us, obviously we're a group of 7, but we have Maureen Duff, Joyce Kostick, Marty Cardona, Kevin Glover, David Buffalo, and Judy Sargent, all on the board. And thank you all for being here tonight. It is an exciting night. I'm glad Brett used those words because so much has taken place. A lot of work has been done by a lot of people over a lot of meetings. See anybody nodding their head, you know that they're part of those people who are in those meetings. And as board members, we were asked to not overly participate, but to be observers so we don't influence the process. So a lot of what we're here tonight, the exciting part is we're going to see it together and be able to process it. Now, if I can, I'd like to put a little bit of a vision or a vision in your head. If you've flown or ever taken off during a storm, you kind of know as you're going down the runway, you might be questioning the sanity of what you're doing suddenly, but right, the wind's shifted to the left or to the right, and you take off and there's turbulence and it's shaking, that plane's shaking, and you end up in the clouds and you can't see anything past the wing, but then you burst out into that sun and things calm down and it's beautiful. And this is kind of the journey that we're on. The Fairport School District is a great aircraft in which you can take this journey. We have a community with a strong affinity for a school district. We have a culture in the school district that's inclusive. So I can't think of a better vehicle that I want to take it with, where we say everybody needs to come along and we want everybody to come along and we'll do our best to bring everybody with us on this journey. We know that we face some stiff headwinds. Education does across this country, there's no doubt about it. But if there's a constant in life, I think the constant is that we will always face headwinds. So let's just admit that. We're going to face headwinds. How we manage ourselves through it, where we go, and what we become is important to us. And that's why this long-term program, this long-term plan and the process. I wasn't sure about what the process of each stage along the way, but I've been really pleased. And tonight, I have no doubt I'll be even more pleased with what we see and with what's revealed. And so I hope you will sit back, but I don't want you to relax. I think we have a lot of work ahead of us still. That long-term plan still needs to be written. We need to digest what's presented. We need to prioritize and then get busy working. But thank you so much for being here tonight, making this an important part of what we're able to do.
Thank you. Thank you to all the Board of Education members who made this a priority to ensure that all voices are part of this process and we're serving our community well. As soon as I walked in here, Mr. Coach T, gave me this bumper sticker that says, "Work wins." work wins. And the amount of work that we've done, I thought that resonated with me, that we come together, we mobilize as a community. I lived in Webster my whole life, right across the way there, heading north. That's where my roots are, that's where my family members are. And there was one reason why I came to this community, and that was because of the spirit and the energy that resonates throughout every single corner of our schools, throughout our community. Whether it's Canal Days, whether it's at Music Fest, whether it's on a Saturday afternoon or Oktoberfest during the fall, the community comes together. And that was one reason why I would move my family. And I wanted to be a part of that. And I'm proud to be a part of it. The main ideas that were part of this process, like Mr. Forsgren said, there's been a lot of ambiguity, a lot of which direction are we going, and how is this going to take shape? And it's really starting to take shape, and it's really taking really good form because of the leadership of our facilitators and the participation of our DAC. But the enduring themes that I knew that this group, that this community can stand next to and really produce was these ideas of communication, collaboration, these ideas of developing organizational capacity, making sure that whatever it is we come across with, we're talking from a systems methodology, from a K-12 perspective. That's exciting. It's also exciting to think systematically, to make sure that we're bringing people who will be affected by the process into the process. There was a Taoist story, and it's labeled Maybe, and I'm going to read it because I think it helps me sort of capture why we did the process the way that we did it. There's an old farmer who had worked his crops for many years. One day his horse ran away. Upon hearing the news, his neighbors came to visit. "Such bad luck," they said sympathetically. "Maybe," the farmer said. The next morning the horse returned. But not only did he return, he brought back 3 other wild horses. "Amazing! How wonderful!" the neighbors exclaimed. "Maybe," replied the old man. The following day, his son tried to ride one of the untamed horses. He was thrown off the horse and he broke his leg. The neighbors came again. They offered sympathy, and they were saying, "What a misfortune." The farmer answered, "Maybe." The day after, military officials came to the village to draft young men into the army. Seeing that the son's leg was broken, they passed him by. The neighbors congratulated the farmer on how well things have turned out. They were excited and they rejoiced. And the farmer said, "Maybe." Well, I wanted to make sure that we weren't engaging in maybe stories, because there's many different ways, many different things that can come about based upon a series of events. It was important that we had multiple different perspectives, so when we make decisions, they're informed. And there are maybe scenarios. Tonight is a maybe scenario. Tonight is an opportunity for us to give feedback, to continue to be informed, so multiple different perspectives can inform our process. This process is not done. What we're sharing with you is the work of the writing team. Now, the writers on the team included Mike Rushaw. Are you here, Mike? I think I see you. Susan Casement, Kevin Henshin, Ellen Reed, Meredith Cluse, Aaron Redder, Cass Wheeler, and Matt Stevens. Where are you, Matt? Cass? There were many different people who have touched this. And I'm proud of that. When we talk about our community survey, we had over 2,000 residents participate to give a perspective. So when we are making decisions for the future, we can try to do it with a little bit more certainty. We had over 500 people participate in our focus groups. Amazing. The information that we received was helpful. There were great perceptions. And the study groups had good data points to draw information in as they made their final thoughts. So tonight is simply about moving along in our process. is no final product at this time. We are taking information in, using it as feedback. We have easels up here. You have forms in front of you. You have one for educational programming, a pink one. You have a green one for fiscal sustainability. And you have a yellow one for facilities planning. Now, throughout this process, we're going to give you an opportunity to interact and talk with each other. We're going to ask you to fill these pieces of information out, these feedback forms out, of what are you thinking about, what are you feeling, what are you wondering. These are just prompts to get you thinking, feeling, and wondering about the information you're about to see. That the facilities, or excuse me, the writing team distilled from all the work from the study groups. And it's going to give you an opportunity for questions and comments as well. Also, I'm going to give you an opportunity to have, again, a free flow exchange of ideas if there are questions. And again, I don't necessarily have answers. I will use this as feedback because ultimately, I want to continue to make sure that I'm informed and that what I present to the Board of Education is thoroughly vetted in as many places in many different ways, many different touch points. And this is just one of those touch points. And you can see, today is February 26th. By April, the writing team is going to continue to work on the educational programming components of this work. I'm going to be making a recommendation to the Board of Education based upon the feedback that we continue to get, the conversations that we continue to have moving forward. The Board of Education will be confirming, hopefully, the strategic initiatives because they're going to be informed. They're going to have many different viewpoints to make their decisions on. So we have certainty that we're being thorough, we're being methodical in our approach to create a 5-year plan. Between May and June, we're going to be developing a management plan. The management plan is going to delineate exactly how we are going to accomplish our strategic initiatives. July and August, I will be sharing the management plan to the community as a whole. So this is our timeline. We're on pace, and it's kind of exciting because it's really starting to take shape. The Board of Education, at the start of every year, creates district goals. We worked collaboratively with the administrative team, the teachers' unions, and other collective bargaining units this past summer to modify our district goals. And I put this up here just so the community can understand that there's a high level of expectations. There is a concern to make sure that we are doing the very best for our students today and tomorrow. You see words like invest. You see words like safe, inviting. You see a statement that speaks to learning environments, making sure that they're aligned to 21st century standards, which we'll be talking about in a little bit. Investing our resources, making sure that there's quality controls as we move forward. Access and equity for all students, like a public school should be concerned with. We need to make sure that it continues to be our priority as we move forward. So these are our district goals, our promises, and what we'll try to focus on. And these are being informed right now as well. So I know the Board of Education has been watching intently. And there might be an iteration of these district goals as we move forward. As I was saying, the District Advisory Council, or the DAC, use focus group perception data, survey data, and tonight I'm engaging with the community for this forum to get multiple different data points to talk about 3 very important areas, one being educational programming, the other one being fiscally sustainable, and making sure that we take care of our facilities and plan appropriately for our declining enrollment and our aging facilities. These are 3 priority areas that evolved over the past couple of years. This is my 3rd year. And the board has high expectations that we have a 5-year plan in place to make sure that we're meeting the needs of our school community and that we're offering our students the very best, not just for today, but for tomorrow. The students that aren't even in our schools today deserve the same high-quality experiences. They deserve the same memories that the students of today and of past years have received in Fairport schools. And we knew that we had some work to do and put it behind some planning. The community deserves a plan that they can easily see and make sense of and make some really good judgments off of based upon our strategic plan. The District Advisory Council will be providing advisory to me, and I will be sharing this plan with the Board of Education, making recommendations, and they will ultimately adopt the strategic initiatives as we move forward. I'm really proud of these statements. These statements here are pretty much our branding statements. They are our strategic framework statements for educational programming. We have one for fiscal sustainability, and we have one for facilities planning. But here, these statements were created as a whole. We had our district leadership, which included our 8 collective bargaining units, our Board of Education, this past summer, work these statements. Then there was an administrative team that narrowed these statements down. And I'm really proud that these statements have stayed throughout this process, and they will be part of the strategic plan as we move forward. For educational programming, this idea of continuous planning and reviewing, this idea of being intentional in our approaches to ensure equity and diverse opportunities that meets each student where they are in their learning journey. We want independent, well-rounded, empathetic, and productive contributors within our school system and beyond. One of the first strategic initiatives here, when you're thinking educational programming, is to ensure a high-quality, fully aligned 21st century curriculum that's provided to all Fairport students. Thinking systematically, this is what we need to accomplish. We cannot think in pockets. There's a perception that that's what we've been doing. And there's also a perception that depends on which school you are, is relative to the experience that you will receive. So I believe this is the response to making sure that we have coherence in our program. Designing and implementing a district structure that oversees curriculum, instruction, and assessment practices. Integrating technology in the curriculum development process. Not outside of the curriculum development process, but infused in the curriculum development process. Infuse support for students' social and emotional development in the curriculum. Again, this is our community as a whole. These are our priorities. And I don't think you need to travel too far. You can go to your nearest news feed, social media link. You can see that there is a need that we continue to manage and support the social and emotional needs of our students. I'm proud that one's in there. Provide appropriate training. That's our commitment to building capacity. I said that at the beginning. And throughout this plan, there's a strong desire to build capacity throughout the organization and systematically track and evaluate the curriculum's effectiveness. Fundamental ideas that need to be considered as we move forward. We also need to talk about what 21st century curriculum and learning environments look like. I'll let you read strategic initiative number 2. as educators, we need to be able to answer questions. What do you do when students don't know? What do you do when students need a little extra support? What do you do when they do know? How do you enrich everyone's experiences? We have lots of social emotional programming. We have an incredible mental health and counseling team. Let's continue to assess it to make sure that we're meeting students where they are, because we see so many different students coming to us with an array of experiences that affect their schools or their schooling experience. We have a growing population of English language learners. Today I was in a meeting and it was the most inspiring meeting of the day. We had over 35 people in one room talking, from advocates to our educators to administrators, talking about this growing population who we're proud and honored to serve. Are we doing our best for our English language learners? Do we have the best possible resources available to them? We need to analyze that. That's the recommendation here. I'm going to give you a chance to react on this. At any point in time, if somebody wants to react or has a question, by all means jump in. Ensure Fairport students are college and career ready upon graduation. Again, through our data, through our study groups, there was a strong perception that this was an area we needed to focus on. This idea of 21st century skills continually comes up. Are students ready for multiple different pathways to college and career readiness? Are we giving them the best possible experience at all grade levels so they can build the necessary skills for future success? We realize that there's more than one way to career readiness, and you'll see that piece with a comprehensive vocational and career awareness track. Are we doing all we can in that realm? We need to develop systems to track success of Fairport graduates. That's exciting to me because we can constantly have a pulse on how our students are feeling about their experiences in Fairport, how their parents felt their experiences were, how they're doing outside of their Fairport experience, so we can continue to inform our processes. This will not end. And here's our commitment to systematic, intentional professional development. I'm excited because I believe in the power of intentionality. And some of these ideas are not novel. They're fundamental. They're fundamental to good school, good teaching, good learning, sound pedagogical practices, programmatically speaking as well. But when you write it down and you commit it to a plan to build a coherent program, that's exciting. And that will take us and only build upon the incredible traditions that we have here. The experiences that students get here will only improve and be enhanced by intentional planning. So there are 4 strategic initiatives. I'll go backwards. Providing comprehensive development, professional development plan for all staff. Ensure students are college and career ready upon graduation. Provide high-quality programs that promote the academic, social, and emotional success of all Fairport students. And ensure a high-quality, fully aligned 21st century curriculum that is provided to all Fairport students. And I want to open this up if there's particular questions or if there's pieces of information that you just want us to have feedback on. You could place it on the pink sheet, or we'll take notes if there's people who are wanting to ask a question right now, or have a comment, or turn to your partners and have a quick conversation. I'll give you a couple minutes. You have a question? Great. So, the question is, within